Hello there. I went to Tesco's today to do a bit of shopping, and they've got this bookshelf the other side of the tills, and people leave books there, and you get some really good ones, and you can leave a few coins in a charity thing, and I leave books there now and again. Sometimes I try one out and I don't get on with it, and then I bring it back there, or bring back a book from somewhere else, and sometimes I don't always just try something out. And but today I saw this book, and it looked a bit different. It's a bit, I might try and sellotape it at the back. It's by a writer called A.J. Cronin, and I'd heard of him from an adaptation of one of his most well-known novels called The Citadel. I think that was adapted sometime, maybe even the 80s even. I seem to remember the actor Ben Cross was in it, and he was playing a doctor, I think, in that. I think that's the one about a doctor, because I was just looking up A.J. Cronin, so his dates are, just having to look round the camera to the computer. Born in 1896 in Cardross in Scotland, so he's Scottish, and then he died in 6th of January 1981 in Montreux in Switzerland. And so he was a doctor, he was a physician, as well as a novelist, and he wrote quite a bunch of novels. It says here, Archibald Joseph Cronin was a Scottish physician and novelist. His best known novel is The Citadel, about a Scottish physician who serves in a Welsh mining village before achieving success in London, where he becomes disillusioned about the venality and incompetence of some doctors. So I don't remember that series very well. I remember it being on telly, The Citadel, and Ben Cross was really good in it. I think Ben Cross, the actor, was in Chariots of Fire as one of the two main runners from memory. I might have that wrong. But this book is called, I don't know if it's the right way around, I think I did the setting so you can read it right. Grand Canary, like the island. I suppose when I saw it, I thought, is it about a big bird? It's about, and that book, and it's written in 1933. That's when it's first published. But this is an edition. This is an extra bit. I don't know if you can read this at the top. I don't know if it's been inverted, by the camera. But it's got 3 and 6, 3 shillings and sixpence. And it says, I'm only going to read it in case the camera has turned it round. Cheap war edition on thin paper. So, and a famous novel by Cronin, 15th edition. So it's gone through 15 editions, and it is really thin paper because of the war thing. It's really thin, but it's not a bad font, and the spacing. You can read it in. My eyes aren't what they used to be, but so it's first published May 30, 1933, when Hitler came to power, didn't he then? But not that that's related in any way. But this 15th edition is October 1941, so, in the war, hence this thing about cheap war edition. And so how old is this now then? 59 plus this particular book, 59 years plus 26, 79 and 6, 85 years old. I might use a bit of sellotape. I haven't got the best sort of sellotape for it, but I might just stick that together. So this novel, I'll read a bit about it in a minute, but it's got some writing on I'm not sure what that bit of the book's called. There's a name for that first page. What's it called? It's called something, isn't it? It's not the title page. Is it a flyleaf? Or I don't know what it's called. I think it's got a name. I used to know, or I think I knew. So it's got a name here which looks like Martin Stratford. I think it's Stratford. And then it's got this in pencil, which I'm imagining, I don't know, it's got 3/6, which I think similar to I don't know if, is that related to the original? Somebody's put that in pencil, how much they paid, and it's got a number 4201. 4201, I'm not sure if that means anything to do with how many of them were produced. And down here, at the bottom, that writing, it says PNH Chatham. So maybe this has been owned by two different people at different times. PNH Chatham, and I'm assuming that that's the first owner of the book or who it was given to or whatever, and they put their name in it, as people tended to do in older books. Some people did, and because it's got autumn in the same handwriting and ink there, it's got autumn 1941, which is this edition. And obviously, so I don't know, Martin up here, whether that's a later owner of the book, passed on in some way or given to someone, or but so it's other novels by Dr. Cronin. The Citadel is there. The Stars Look Down is meant to be. I've not read anything by him. I only remember that TV series, something called Three Loves, and The Hatter's Castle. Victor Galantz is the publisher, venerable old publisher of those days, and I'm not sure if they're still around or if they've been swallowed up by the bigger ones, the big conglomerates. I'm not sure. I could look that up, I just didn't. 14 Henrietta Street, Covent Garden, that's where they were based then. And there's shall I read the beginning, just the first paragraph? And you can read it, even though it's in some very thin paper. I'm not sure if that's going to come across on the screen, but by the camera. Chapter 1. I'm going to give this a read at some point. I'm reading another book at the moment, but he was still a little drunk as he came out of the sleeping car with Ismay, someone out a name, and walked along the platform towards the baggage office. And he was still bitter, charged with that searing bitterness which, like an acid, had consumed him, drunk or sober, for the past 3 weeks. The platform swayed gently beneath his feet. The cold haze of morning that filled the high arches of the station pressed round him like a thick sea mist. He saw nothing. He walked rigidly like a man in a dream. He drew up. Full stop. That's the first paragraph. That's interesting. He's like, this guy, something's been going on that's made him bitter, and he's a bit tipsy, and he's just got out of a sleeping car. And he's right into the action straight away. So, I partly wish I hadn't read this, but it's not telling me too much. But when you look at I looked up Grand Canary. I don't know if it's still in print even. It might not be in print. I haven't looked that up, but Grand Canary is a novel by A.J. Cronin, it says here. It tells the story of Dr. Harvey Leaf. So obviously he's a doctor, the writer, so it makes sense that he writes about... I mean, you can understand why you can have characters as doctors, can you? Because he knows the ropes. Dr. Harvey Leaf is an English physician, not a Scottish one in this case, who is wrongfully blamed for the deaths of 3 patients. So just to remind you, it was published in 1933. So he's blamed for the deaths of 3 patients wrongfully, and leaves his country in disgrace, ultimately finding redemption when thrust into the middle of a yellow fever epidemic in the Canary Islands. I'm assuming that's something that happened historically, or unless it might be fictional. I don't know. I'll look that up afterwards if I end up reading more of it or all of it. I'll probably look at, was there a yellow fever epidemic in the Canary Islands? I think I'd leave that till later rather than pre-reading the fiction. The novel was adapted for the screen in 1934 by director Irving Cummings, starring Academy Award-winning actor Warner Baxter. That name's not familiar to me, but then as an actor, but I might know his face from those films, maybe, I don't know. The novel is praised for its engaging narrative and the depth of its characters, making it a classic romance from the much-loved author of The Citadel and The Green Years. That's another novel he did, The Green Years. So 3 and 6, just in the local Tesco's. And tidy this up a bit. I mean, it's got the nice kind of cloth-bound thing underneath it, but I might try and rescue, well, I'm not going to be able to rescue it very well, this flap jacket thing, whatever it's called, paper jacket. Underneath it's blue, and because it's got this fascinating thing here about cheap war edition on thin paper, isn't it? That's interesting. That's part of the history of it. Weirdly, it says here on the back, the Fanfare Press, London. I'm assuming that's the press that created this jacket rather than Victor Glantz as the publisher. So the Fanfare Press, London, must have been the one that has been charged or has got the job of creating these like paper jacket things, maybe. Yeah, because it's all very, it's a bit of history in a way, isn't it? So, and it might be hopefully it'll be a really good read as well. So I think I'm going to leave it there. So that's a bit of a bookie wook thing. Yeah, little find in the old what do you call it, Tesco bookshelf. Yeah, just people leave books there. I've left books there as well. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Have a nice Thursday. I'm looking forward to. I haven't watched it yet. I'm still watching Chris's 154 More Problems. I've got 20 minutes or so of that to read. To listen to, sorry. That's excellent, incredibly comprehensive. So that's like, by the time that it ends, that's 300 points, isn't it, of things that are wrong. And what else? Yeah, and I'm really looking forward also to, although I know it's all very serious, and but in terms of the qualities of I'm also looking forward to Guy Rowland's the second part, which I think also has Stephanie in it, Stephanie Davies, and Guy Rowland's Lucy Letby Films part. That no doubt many of you that follow the other videos about Lucy Letby and Miscarriage of Justice will know that is out as well today. And I heard an update, or I read an update on the Twitter, that the debate, what do they call it again, that David Davis is doing, there's something that adjournment debate with regard to, I think the original title or subject matter of it was David Davis has called this debate, I don't know what the technical term is, or asked for it in respect of the behaviour of Cheshire Police in respect of the investigation that they did, and probably subsequent behaviour since, I should think, because that would be another thing. But anyway, this video was mostly meant to be about this book, but also I just thought I'd add those few things at the end. It's coming up to 14 minutes. That's an appropriate time to click it. Got to do my hand's going to loom over now. I'm going to click it off. Bye.